I'm Adrian Seet, and you are tuning in to Nightline. The top stories. Malaysia secures a record 170 billion ringgit worth of investment commitment from China. And special committee to be formed to address contract doctors issue. Thanks for joining us. Malaysia has secured a record 170 billion ringgit worth of investment commitments from China. Prime Minister Dato Sri Anwar Ibrahim said this achievement showed the confidence of investors in the country. According to Dato Sri Anwar, the amount, the biggest so far from China, is from a total of 19 memorandums of understanding MOUs sealed between businesses in China and Malaysia.
I must therefore thank investors and the staff, ministries for giving that cooperation, and to all of you for giving us that confidence. That's why I alluded to in my speech just now that this is historic for Malaysia. It augurs well for the future.
He announced the news at the Malaysia-China Business Forum, which was attended by some 1,000 business leaders from both countries in Beijing on Saturday. Earlier, in his keynote address at the forum, he urged Chinese investors and business leaders to leverage the strong bilateral ties and seize the vast opportunities being offered by the current government to invest in Malaysia. Dato Sri Anwar, who is also Finance Minister, also gave his assurance that the government will ensure that the ease of doing business and undertaking investments in Malaysia will be at the optimal level.
With a new commitment to the rule of law, transparency and accountability. So trust us in this and move forward. So build more partnership with Malaysian companies, particularly in the strategic sectors, to advance deeper interlinkages.
He also said Malaysia will continue to work with China in deepening the existing cooperation in the Belt and Road Initiative, BRI, and to expand economic cooperation in new growth areas, such as green development and digital economy. China remained Malaysia's largest trading partner for 14 consecutive years, with a total trade of 488 billion ringgit in 2022. The country was also the biggest foreign direct investor in Malaysia last year, with investments amounting to 55.16 billion ringgit. Later in the day, Dato Sri Anwar has described his maiden official visit to China as an achievement that brought about great benefits to the country. The Prime Minister said the focus given by the Chinese government and leaders, as well as the response from Chinese business and industry figures to his visit, reflects the close relationship enjoyed between the two countries.
Tidak mungkin kita capai 170 bilion ringgit ini kalau tidak ada suatu dukungan, kerana sebahagian besar juga syarikat-syarikat ini adalah syarikat-syarikat kerajaan negara China. Jadi saya anggap ini satu perkembangan yang sangat positif, satu kunjungan yang memberikan manfaat yang besar kepada rakyat Malaysia.
He told this to the Malaysian media in a press conference at the end of his official visit to China on Saturday. Dato Anwar added that Malaysia and China have also agreed to strengthen and elevate bilateral relations, driven by deeper and meaningful cooperation in various aspects, including politics, trade and investment. Both countries have also agreed to explore new areas of cooperation, including new generation car manufacturing as well as the halal industry. And China also agreed to use local skilled workers and professionals for joint venture projects as opposed to previous practice, except for areas of specialization that are not available in Malaysia. He also extended invitation to China's President Xi Jinping and Premier Li Qiang to visit Malaysia next year. Earlier, Dato Sri Anwar kick-started the final day of his official visit to China with a roundtable meeting with high-profile Chinese investors. The high-powered meeting that lasted an hour was attended by some 50 investors and captains of industries from various sectors in China, including high-level technology, digital economy and agriculture. During the gathering, Dato Sri Anwar also took the opportunity to get feedback, amongst others, from the country's elite business leaders. The Prime Minister described the deep discussion with the top-notch captains of industries as unprecedented and meaningful, as never in recent years that so many of them have been assembled together. Now, Dato Sri Anwar was accorded an official ceremonial welcome by the Chinese government in conjunction with his official visit to Beijing on Saturday. The Prime Minister was greeted on arrival at the East Hall of the Great Hall of the People by his Chinese counterpart Li Qiang. The national anthems of the two countries were played before Dato Sri Anwar inspected a guard of honour. The two leaders then proceeded with a bilateral meeting to strengthen relations between Malaysia and China. Following the meeting, both Dato Sri Anwar and Li also witnessed the signing of 3 memorandums of understanding (MOUs) on trade cooperation between both countries. The Cabinet on Friday agreed to establish a high-level committee to deal with the issue of contract doctors. Health Minister Dr. Zaliha Mustafa said the committee will comprise representatives of several ministries and agencies, including the Chief Secretary to the Government, Tan Sri Muhammad Zuki Ali. In a statement on Saturday, Dr. Zaliha said there were rumours of a strike involving contract doctors on April the 3rd to the 5th, as well as calls for contract doctors nationwide to join the strike or resign en masse on April the 1st. She said her ministry did not have any further information about the strike. However, it was of the view that a strike is not the best solution to problems related to the medical profession or any other professional scheme. She also noted that the move should be considered carefully because the health service is a critical service involving human lives and the well-being of the people. The minister also pointed out that public servants, whether permanent or contract, are subject to the integrity of public servants and public service ethics. The ministry also has, from time to time, responded to the problems and demands raised by health workers, including creating permanent posts, sponsoring specialist training or advanced training, time-based promotions, opportunities to be promoted to special grades, creating grades UD 56 for medical professionals, and so on. The Rural and Regional Development Ministry, through RISDA, will add another latex production depot to increase the production of the commodity in Malaysia. Its Minister, Dato Sri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi, who is also the Deputy Prime Minister, said the move is also to reduce dependence on latex imports from abroad for industrial use in the country.
Kerana 3 bilion ringgit digunakan untuk mengimport getah latex ini daripada luar negara bagi kegunaan industri tempatan. Perkara ini boleh diselamatkan jika latex dikeluarkan lebih banyak dan tentunya apabila permintaan lebih banyak, harga akan meningkat dan inilah dari segi jangka panjangnya.
Dato Sri Ahmad Zahid said this to the media at the Perdana Al-Quran Tadarus ceremony in conjunction with the Ramadan month in Bagan Dato, Perak on Saturday. He was responding to a question about the mechanism to ensure that the introduction of rubber cup lump floor prices will help increase the income of smallholders and rubber tappers. Earlier, there was a proposal for the government to study raising the scrap rubber floor price to at least 3 ringgit per kilogram compared to the 2 ringgit 70 cent as announced in the 2023 budget. Dato Sri Ahmad Zahid added that the matter will be announced by the Prime Minister, Dato Sri Anwar Ibrahim, soon. At the same event, Dato Sri Ahmad Zahid, who is also Barisan Nasional BN chairman, said the Malacca state government's new EXCO lineup, which will be appointed very soon, needs to reflect the composition of the unity government. And thus, the Deputy Prime Minister, who is also UMNO President, said discussions will be held with the newly appointed Malacca Chief Minister, Dato Seri Abdul Rauf Yusof, first, before any decision is made.
Namun, alangkah baiknya jika Kerajaan Negeri Melaka dapat menggambarkan kebersamaan dan juga perkongsian kuasa dengan adun-adun yang telah dipilih oleh rakyat daripada parti-parti yang berada di dalam kerajaan perpaduan di peringkat persekutuan.
Dato Seri Ahmad Zahid told this to reporters when commenting on the appointment of Dato Seri Rauf as the 13th Malacca Chief Minister on Friday. He also believed that the appointed EXCO would carry out their jobs diligently for the people and continue the good work of the former chief ministers. The Bagan Dato MP also stressed that efforts should be intensified to attract more investors to increase foreign and domestic direct investments. He added that the workforce resources will be emphasized, in which training will be provided, especially in the technical and industrial fields, as well as developing the tourism sector. Currently, out of the 28 seats in the Malacca State Legislative Assembly, 21 seats are held by BN, while Pakatan Harapan PH won 5 seats and Perikatan Nasional PN won 2 seats. Meanwhile, Malacca Chief Minister Dato Seri Abdul Rauf Yusof said he will ensure that the lineup of the state executive councillors be more inclusive and reflects the unity government. In a Facebook posting on Saturday, the Tanjung Bidara Assemblyman emphasized that the new state government is strong and stable. He added that it is a unity government that was formed as a result of a mutual agreement between political parties that have a strong mandate to serve the people of Malacca. Dato Seri Abdul Rauf also said that he would draw up a new 100-day plan to generate more investment and jobs for the state. He pointed out that the people want development such as hospitals, school facilities, better businesses, employment as well as income opportunities, and the state also needs better infrastructure, including water supply, roads and digital facilities. The Malacca UMNO State Liaison Committee Chairman took his oath of office as the 13th Malacca Chief Minister on Friday, replacing Lendu Assemblyman Dato Seri Sulaiman Mat Ali after he resigned from the post on Thursday. Stampede at food distribution centre kills 13 in Pakistan. News from the foreign front when we come back. On Saturday said 10 Chinese aircraft have crossed the median line of the Taiwan Straits, normally an unofficial barrier between the two sides, as Beijing continues its military activities near the island. The ministry, in its daily report on Chinese military activities, said that 9 Chinese fighter jets and 1 military drone crossed the median line in the 24 hours to 6 a.m. local time on Saturday. In response, Taiwan sent its own jets to warn away the Chinese aircrafts, while missile systems monitored them using standard wordings. Taiwan, which China claims as its own territory, despite the island's objections, has complained in recent years of almost daily missions by the Chinese Air Force near the democratically governed island, often in the southwestern part of its air defense identification zone. At least 16 people were killed while 10 others were injured on Friday in a crush amongst people waiting for Ramadan food donations in Pakistan's largest city of Karachi. According to local media, at least 16 people, all women and children, died when the crowds forced the victims into a nearby drain, which then caused a wall to collapse. The crowd crush is the latest in a string of deadly incidents at food distribution centres across Pakistan, as citizens started pushing each other to collect food outside a factory in a well-known industrial area where business owners often hand out cash and food, especially to the poor. The event underscored people's desperation in the face of soaring costs, exacerbated by Pakistan's falling currency and removal of subsidies agreed with the International Monetary Fund to unlock the latest tranche of its financial support packages. Over in the US, residents across the South and Midwest were picking up the pieces on Saturday after fierce tornadoes and storms ravaged multiple states, leaving at least 11 people dead, dozens injured, and homes and businesses destroyed. Authorities said there were at least 60 reports of tornadoes on Friday across Arkansas, Iowa, Tennessee, Illinois, Wisconsin, as well as Mississippi, and more than 28 million people were under a tornado watch at one point on Friday after the National Weather Service declared a level 5 high-risk outlook for severe storms in some areas. As at Saturday morning, over 200,000 households remained without power in Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, Missouri, Arkansas, Tennessee, and Georgia. More bad weather is forecasted for Saturday as scattered, strong, severe thunderstorms are expected across parts of the Ohio Valley and the Northeast and over the southeastern United States. In Formula One, Max Verstappen took a pole position for Red Bull on Saturday at the Australian Grand Prix after teammate Sergio Perez came crashing back to earth with a brake failure that left him last on the grid. Verstappen struggled for grip through qualifying, but it all came together in his last effort as he roared around the Lakeside circuit in 1 minute and 16.732 seconds, over 0.2 of a second quicker than Mercedes driver George Russell. Red Bull has dominated the new season, with Verstappen claiming the first race in Bahrain and Perez the second in Saudi Arabia. Perez, however, was eliminated in the first qualifying session on Saturday when he locked up braking into turn 3 during his first outlap and beached himself in gravel. Russell will join Verstappen on the front row for Sunday's race at Albert Park after qualifying second ahead of teammate Lewis Hamilton. Now tennis, the Miami Open. Italy's Jannik Sinner ended Carlos Alcaraz's hopes of the Sunshine Double and his reign as world number 1, triumphing 6-7-4, 6-4, 6-2 in their Miami Open semi-final on Friday. The semi-final duel had been an enthralling and entertaining power-hitting performance from both men in the first set, won by the Spaniard after a tie-break, but an inspired Sinner fought back in the second. Sinner lost his focus for a while, his blistering shots replaced by some conservative strokes, but he soon regained focus as he ran out the winner in 3 hours. Sinner will meet Russian Daniil Medvedev in the final, while Alcaraz will lose his number 1 ranking to Novak Djokovic. Earlier in another match, Daniil Medvedev reached his 5th straight ATP Tour final with a 7-6, 7-5, 3-6, 6-3 win over fellow Russian Karen Khachanov. The 27-year-old Medvedev played against his boyhood friend, survived a second set comeback, but his trademark precision stroke play saw him through against the big serving Khachanov. The contest saw a series of long rallies as Medvedev fended off Khachanov's thumping shots from the baseline and then pinned his opponent back on his service game. Medvedev won 82% of his first serve points in the final set and was relieved to have beaten a player who knows his game so well. Motorists nabbed after scattering nails on Batu Gajah Road. This and more when Nightline returns. Now, most autistic children are gifted with the abilities that allow them to express abstract thoughts and emotional memories through drawings and paintings. However, these children need to be nurtured using various methods for them to fully utilize their capabilities. In conjunction with World Autism Awareness Day on Sunday, Adrian had a chance to meet one of these gifted artists to learn more about his achievements and aspirations.
In recent years, those seeking alternative treatment for autistic individuals have a wide range of options, including art therapy. Methods such as art, music, and behavioral therapies are often used for children with autism to improve their social and communication skills. However, some parents might not be able to afford to pay for the therapy sessions, as the cost has risen to between 3,000 and 5,000 ringgit per month. Josephine Wu, who has an autistic son, expressed her hope that the government could provide more assistance to the autism community by providing special grants or funds to the autism care centres to help with the therapy expenses.
I hope they have certain support like giving to the center, or maybe just giving to the kids to support the fee of learning is very costly. At a time, I can remember like 1 month easily 3,000 to 5,000 for only paying the therapies per month. So who can pay for it? I don't think many of us can pay for it. So that is why this is another point that the government have to look into it. You know, how they can still pay for all these therapies. How can let them train on all this. Somehow they have a behavioral therapies.
Wu founded her clay art studio after her son was diagnosed with mild autistic at the age of 2. Wu's son, Ong Yong-ta, started to dabble in acrylic painting in 2006 and has since actively participated in numerous exhibits and auctions held locally and abroad by different charitable foundations and NGOs to raise funds and increase awareness of people with special needs. The Anak Syurga exhibition had showcased 2 of Ong's paintings and his ceramic plate, while in 2021 he was chosen as one of the 10 winners of the IM Group Foundation's International Arts Competition to exhibit in Italy this year. With 24 years of professional experience in training autistic children using various methods, Wu is now sharing her knowledge with many parents, especially in nurturing their kids' talent. For Tan Kwok Yo, who is an art tutor at Wu's studio, instructors and parents must observe and understand the children's behavior before nurturing them, as each individual has their own unique qualities.
Usually we need to study the student first, like what kind of character are him, what kind of thing he like.
Tan stressed that children must be given opportunities to explore new things. This will help them discover their passion and identify their skills, which will be useful in their future life. Art therapy fosters life skills such as independence, engagement, and interactions. Hence, by giving the autistic children the opportunity to express themselves through art, it might be an effective mechanism for us to understand them better. Adrian for Nightline, TV3.
In Perak, police have arrested the driver of a car who was allegedly seen scattering nails on the road in Batu Gajah. This after the footage of the act that occurred at the traffic lights of Jalan Ipoh Lumut near Pusing went viral on social media since Friday. In a statement, District Police Chief ACP Muhammad Roy Suhaimi Sarif said the 45-year-old man, who has a criminal record related to a drug offence, was nabbed in Changkat Larang, Lahad at 3 a.m. on Saturday. The suspect, who also tested positive for methamphetamine, was remanded for 4 days to assist in investigations under the Penal Code for committing mischief. However, his motive of the incident is still unknown. Earlier, a 24-second video recorded by the driver of another vehicle showed the motorist scattering nails at the intersection from the window of his Nissan Almera. Authorities also received a police report from a road user who informed them that his car tyre suffered a puncture after passing through the road. Tens of thousands of Muslims visit the Al-Aqsa Masjid in Baitul Maqdis to perform Friday prayers on the 9th of Ramadan. I'm Adrian Seet. Thank you for tuning in. And to our Muslim viewers, Selamat Bersahur.